Hello and welcome to the Centre for Theatre and Performance. My name is Professor Jane Montgomery Griffiths. I'm the director of the centre and I'm also first year coordinator, so I am the go-to woman for any issues you might have, any problems, any concerns, any discombobulations that might hit you in your first year at Monash. So I want to start by welcoming you and also congratulating you. If we were in a room together, I'd be asking you to tell me how many of you had had a little bit of, what should we say, concern from parents or friends when you told them you were planning to do an arts degree. Maybe somebody said to you that you wouldn't get a job at the end of it, that you should do a vocational degree, that there was no purpose or point in an arts degree. Well, I want to say that that is completely wrong, and that what you have done in choosing to have your degree with the Faculty of Arts, or indeed just a few units with the Faculty of Arts, is made a step forward into being an adult, into being a citizen of our global community in a way that is, I have to say, with no disparagement to colleagues in other schools and disciplines, infinitely better than choosing to do a vocational course at university. University should be a place where you can think, where you have time to relax, time to have an itchy brain, time to debate life, the universe and everything with your friends, time to stay up late, make big mistakes, do stupid things, and come out the end of your 3 years a better and hopefully more magnanimous person. Because what a degree in the arts does is helps you to understand humanity. Humanity in all its forms, with all its foibles. So what you will learn with us in the Faculty of Arts is a way of looking at the world that tries to understand the other, tries to understand the contexts for the way people behave, for the way society is shaped. As well as that, you will learn interpersonal skills, intercultural skills, communication skills, the ability to develop critical thinking, all of these things that in terms of your future are incredibly important transferable skills, and not just in the workplace, but in your life as you develop into being a fully rounded human being. So, well done. Congratulations. I thoroughly approve of your choice in taking a degree with us in arts at Monash University. Now, I've talked about the arts faculty, and it's very easy when you start at Monash to think that it is a massive monolith and almost impossible and impenetrable to understand. So I just want to give you an idea of how the university is put together and how the Centre for Theatre and Performance, or CTP as we call it, fits. So the university is comprised of many different faculties. We have the Faculty of Business and Economics, IT, science, medicine, nursing, etc., etc. And within each faculty there are specific schools. So in the Faculty of Arts, for instance, you have the School of Media and Journalism, or you have the School of Languages, Cultures and Linguistics, etc. Now, the Centre for Theatre and Performance doesn't belong to a school. It is independent. It's its own autonomous entity. And it sits in the Faculty of Arts with its own place at the table. So what that means for you is that you, as a member of CTP, are part of a very close-knit environment, a family, if you like, where we are able to get to know you as individuals who fit into the broader context of the faculty at large. And what that means is that you are hopefully not going to be feeling as isolated as you might in a huge school, where it's quite possible that you can sit through your entire first semester and not know the name of the person next to you, nor indeed know the name of the lecturer, nor that the lecturer knows your name. CTP tries to be an open, inclusive, accepting family. Within that family, of course, there are hierarchies. You have the staff, you have the postgraduate students, you have the undergraduate students. But I want to say to you, and I want to assure you, that when you join CTP, be it for your major, for your minor, or even for just one unit, we treat you as part of us. You are a member of our family. And that means that we want to care for you. We want you to feel engaged, integrated, welcomed in an accessible and open environment where you can actually allow yourself to be vulnerable. I want to give you a little anecdote here. So, here I am, I'm head of department, I'm a professor, I stand up in front of people for a living. When I'm not doing this, my day job, I'm also a professional actor. So seemingly, I am a confident person. Well, when I started at university, when I was 18, and in the UK, students go away from home and live in halls of residence for university. So there I was, 18 years old, first time in my life I'd been living by myself in halls of residence. I was so terrified, so nervous, so apprehensive, so shy that I didn't leave my room for about 3 days when I arrived there. I didn't go to any freshers meetings. I didn't go to any O-week knees ups. I didn't go down to chat to people at meet and greet, get to know you sessions, because I was petrified. I had a stammer, I had a gawky kind of way of, I studied ancient Greek for heaven's sake as an undergraduate and as a teenager, so you can imagine how nerdy I was. Basically, I was absolutely terrified. So if you're watching this and you're thinking that you too are terrified at the thought of starting university, and if we'd been able to be together in the same room to have this chat, you would have realised that you, in this group of 120 students, are the only one who's scared. Well, of course, that's not the case. Everybody's scared. Everybody in this cohort, everybody coming to Monash in the first year is apprehensive. You might be excited, you might be absolutely terrified, but frankly, everyone's in the same boat. So please, please, do not feel that you are awkward or odd or unusual or the only one feeling scared. Everybody is. And so what I want to say to you is something that I actually say to many of our acting students. What I want you to do is to say yes. Yes to the opportunities that being at Monash, that being with CTP, that being a first year present. Because there are many of them. And the only thing that's going to hinder you is thinking that you're not good enough. Well, we know you're good enough. You're here after all. You got your ATAR. You've shown the interest and the fantastic sense of independence to choose an arts degree and to study with CTP. You are good enough. If you feel awkward, just remember, so does the person next to you, and they will be so grateful to you for saying, gosh, I feel a bit awkward, because that will open up the chance for a conversation. So please know, we, the academics who will be looking after you, working with you, teaching you, we completely know what you're going through. And we're going to try to make the next few weeks, as you come to Monash and you integrate yourself within your cohort, we're going to try to make those next few weeks as friendly, open, engaging, and frankly, hopefully fun as possible. So, I've told you how CTP fits within the faculty. I've told you how I really want you to acknowledge the fact that you're apprehensive and embrace it and just say yes anyway. If you like, fake it till you make it. Now I want to tell you a bit about the specifics of what CTP has to offer. You'll see below this video there's a link to a PowerPoint. So everything that I say is going to be down on this PowerPoint in terms of the nuts and bolts of information. People's names, people's contact addresses, stuff like that. So you don't need to worry about writing down anything as you're listening to me now. You can just look over the PowerPoint at another time. Within Centre for Theatre and Performance then, we have an ongoing staff of 6. So there's me. I am an actor when I'm not here at Monash. I'm also a classical Greek scholar, and my research areas are into playwriting and adaptation studies. Then we have Professor Stacey Holman-Jones, who is an expert, a world authority in autoethnography and queer theory. She's also our graduate coordinator and our coordinator of research and the deputy director of the centre. Then we have Dr. Felix Nobis. Felix is a very funky academic who studies Anglo-Saxon, Norse and Celtic. He also runs the internship programme for the university and is behind the incredibly fabulous unit on presentation skills that we run every winter and summer semester. I have to say it's a wonderful unit. I'm going to spruik it even now to you in your first week. I love it. So you might want to look at that as a way of getting 6 points in 3 weeks, but also a fantastic education. Felix is an award-winning playwright and an actor too. Then we have Dr. Stuart Grant. Stuart is an expert on philosophy of performance and site-specific performance, and he's also, as a matter of interest, the lead singer in the punk band The Primitive Calculators, so that's another string to his bow. Then Dr. Fiona Gregory, who is in charge of our undergraduate education coordination and also honours coordination. So you might be seeing a bit of Fiona if you have to decide how to put together your major or your minor course progression. Fiona is an expert in actors and mental health and also actress history and studies. Finally, we have the wonderful Ms. Fleur Kilpatrick. Fleur is another award-winning playwright, an absolutely terrific playwright, and a CTP alumna who runs the Music Theatre Minor, which is a really interesting course that we'll talk about in a minute. She'll also be teaching you in your first semester in ATS 0yp98tp0, which is Performance in Context 1, the unit which is coordinated by Felix Nobis. So that's the team, and as well as the ongoing staff, we also have sessional tutors who will be coming into you. Now, one of the things that CTP seeks to do, which is actually, I have to say, quite unlike a lot of the other drama and performance departments in the country, we try to bring in as many professional practitioners as possible. So a lot of the sessional staff, the casual lecturers who will come to teach you, are actually leading lights in professional theatre. Basically, I've put in a few favours, and so that means that you will get a really, really interesting, comprehensive and actually in-depth understanding of how the Melbourne theatre scene works, and in some cases the national and international theatre scene as well. So that's our staff. Now, a little thing to say, we get this every year. You've just come from school, most of you. I appreciate there are a few exceptions. And you're probably used to calling your teachers Mr. or Miss or Ms. or Mrs. Do not do that ever for us. If you want to be formal, we're professor or we're doctor or whatever our title might be, but don't be, because we're not formal with you. So please, first name terms, always, never, ever, ever Mrs. Griffiths, because that's my mother, not me. Now, that sort of casual informality is really important, because what we learn in theatre and performance is all about how to make ourselves vulnerable to understand ourselves in the broader world and also in the broader community, in our society, how we interact. Theatre studies is not just about looking at plays or looking at how to act. It's about understanding how acting and performance integrate into every single moment of our lives. Therefore, it's important that we create an open, accepting space in which you can be vulnerable. So this is the key thing. The key tenet of CTP is the word magnanimity. It comes from the Latin. It means big soul, big spirit. So you need to have a big heart to be part of this. And if you don't have it yet, then hopefully it will develop. And the reason that that's so important is it means that you can share with others. You can open yourself up. You can be there to be empathetic with the person next to you, to understand them, or at least to try to understand them, and to allow yourself to be open in a way that can help your fellow person to understand you. So that means that regardless of your race, your religion, your ethnicity, your sexual identification, your gender identification, however you look at yourself, you are welcome here. And we will not tolerate anything other than respect for difference. At this stage in your lives, many of you will be going through certain changes. You might be falling in love for the first time. You might be working out your sexuality. You might be working out your gender identification, realizing that you're not binary. You might be fluid. You might be transitioning, any of those things. You're working out how your body operates as a young adult. You're working out how your mind and your sensibilities operate. All of these things can put intense stress on you. It's not at all uncommon for people to suffer from depression or for other mental illnesses when they enter university because it's such a hugely different environment. Well, I can promise you this. We on the staff completely and totally understand. We are not trained counsellors, but we will listen to you and we will help you find the help that you need, the support that will help you through. There's no shame in asking for help. And this goes for any other issues that you might have too. So don't forget, we are completely aware of what a interesting and sometimes tricky time this is in your life, and we will be there for you. So that's the preamble. That is a very important preamble because that is who we are in CTP. Now to give you an idea of how you can put together your degree. Well, you can take a theatre major. Now, if you're doing that, you need to follow what are known as the gateway units, the cornerstone units, and the capstone units. Always sounds to me a bit like gallstone units, but we have to follow that nomenclature. So you'll be taking in your first year the core units, which are performance in context 1 and 2 over semesters 1 and 2 this year. The following year, you'll be taking modules in devising theatre, which will It's a really interesting course, actually. I really love this. You can specialise in acting, in creative technology, which is set design, lighting design, sound design, stage management, etc., or in dramaturgy and directing. And you specialise in 2 out of the 3 over the entire year, and utilising those, working with professional practitioners to create your own performance. That's a really funky unit. I love that. And then in your 3rd year, you will take in the 1st semester a unit which is basically about how you can put together your own company and how you can actually find the creative but also practical nuts and bolts to sustain a career in the theatre once you leave us. And then in your 2nd semester of your final year, you'll be working with leading professional directors in productions which might range from applied theatre through to site-specific, through to productions at the Melbourne Fringe. So all of these units aim to give you a comprehensive overview of the history and the theory of theatre and performance, but also to give you really hands-on practical experience, and often with some of the very, very best practitioners in the business. And this leads me on to mentioning one of the most successful and important units that we offer, which is an elective, you don't have to take it, but our internship unit, where students can be placed in internships right the way across the board in professional theatre and performance. We, this year, are starting a partnership with the Melbourne Fringe, which will open up massive possibilities for you guys to work with leading professionals in the future. So that's very exciting. Now, in your 1st year, as well as taking performance in context 1 and 2, that's ATS 1287 and ATS 1288. There are also 2 electives which I run in acting theory and practice 1 and 2. That's ATS 1189 and ATS 1190. These are electives. They do not count to your major, but they do count to your degree, and they are fun. No acting experience required or even wished for. We start you from scratch. But what's great about this unit, and why I love this unit, is that again we bring in leading professionals to teach you acting, and you also collaborate with the 3rd years in scene work, so it's a lovely way of feeling integrated with the rest of the CTP community. So that's your 1st year. In terms of coming to your 2nd year with your electives, well, you can study Greek tragedy in reception and adaptation. That's not all about Greek tragedy. It takes a key myth and looks at how that Greek myth is dealt with across the millennia, actually, in theatre performance. A unit in comedy, a unit based on interdisciplinary studies of the Old English and Old English or Old Norse epic Beowulf, or a unit in playwriting skills. In your 3rd year, you can take electives in directing, again working with some leading professional directors and then also working with the 1st years, in Shakespeare, and in more detailed study of performance theory, which at the moment you might think sounds a little bit intimidating, but frankly by the time you get to your 3rd year, you're gonna love it. So those are some of the units that we offer. Sometimes all of them are offered, sometimes new units are offered, and we will let you know in terms of how you can put together your degree, which units are offered and which units are being rested. So no need for you to be concerned at this stage. If you're not sure if you want to major in theatre, absolutely fine. Take our core units now, but take core units in another area, another discipline, and make up your mind at the end of your 1st year. You've got a lot of flexibility going on here. So that's our theatre units. We also offer a music theatre minor. Now this is great. This is a really fantastic minor that has only been running for a few years. It was created through the generosity of the great philanthropist Dr. Jean Pratt, who gave a substantial donation to Monash to help us create this music theatre minor. And what it means is that we can employ artists in residence who are leading practitioners in the field of music theatre to write a new musical for you guys. So you get trained up in the skills of acting, singing, dancing, also in some of the theoretical skills of the composition of music theatre, then the practical skills of actually writing your own music theatre, and then working with professionals in an entirely new music theatre production. So it's a very, very exciting and I think unique minor and a unique way of studying music theatre in this country. So those are our undergraduate offerings. We also have an honours year, which comes after your third year, where you can specialise and do more research. And then we have a very large and very flourishing postgraduate cohort with people doing master's degrees and PhDs. And that leads me to give you an idea also of what is the expectation and the workloads on staff here. Now, this is where university is so different from school. We love you, right? We absolutely love you. We are very dedicated in giving you the best educational experience that is possible. However, and this is really important to know, teaching you is only 30 to 40% of our jobs. In some cases, it's less than 30%. In some cases, it's slightly more. But basically, we're talking 30 to 40%. The rest of our time is spent in research, in working with postgraduates, and also in administration. So that means you need to understand how we all fit together in the ecosystem of the university. If, for instance, you send me an email at Sunday night and you expect a reply by Monday morning, it just ain't going to happen. Please allow 24 hours of working days for a reply. So if you email me on Friday, then you can expect an answer by Tuesday. You might get an answer on Monday, but you sure as heck aren't going to get an answer on Saturday. So be aware of those expectations. We do have open hours times when you can come to see us, but otherwise please make an appointment. All of our emails are available on the website or on the PowerPoint which is attached to this, just below this video. It's really important you understand that because you want to have the right expectations from the beginning. We care about you very deeply. We want your experience to be the best it can possibly be, but you are just part of the big picture. And Monash University, as a group of 8 university, the group of 8 is the sort of the creme de la creme, shall we say, of Australian universities. Because Monash is part of the group of 8, it means that we have to take research very, very, very seriously. Our research is as important as our teaching, and we try to integrate our research into our teaching. Similarly, as well as your expectations in terms of how much you can contact us, be aware too that though there is informality, there also needs to be a degree of politeness. We've become professors or doctors because, frankly, we have worked really, really hard for that. And so we're not your peers. You are our students, we are your teachers. We care about you very much. We are all adults together. We're all on first name terms. But basically, a little bit of respect is also required. Sometimes that can go out the window as you get to know us more. But certainly at the beginning, remember that, as in any family, there's a hierarchy. So I've told you about where CTP fits into the faculty, about our expectations for you in terms of magnanimity and openness and respect, the way we want to make you feel comfortable, integrated, looked after, the way we want our units to be accessible and a combination of theory and practice, what our units are, and the staff. That pretty much covers for now what I want to say in what should have been our meet and greet in 0 week. All I want to finish with is this. You have a lot of time left at university. You've only just started. You've got at least 3 years. You might even have more time if you, like many, many people, you end up going part-time for a semester or not. Enjoy yourself. Don't put yourself under massive strain thinking that you constantly have to work to get through this module. You constantly have to hit your deadlines. You do. Of course you have to hit the deadlines for submission. But there are some things which are more important than essays. And actually your life experience, making sure that you're looking after each other, making sure that you're looking after yourself, all of those are every bit as important as making sure that you've written a 2,500 word essay by 5 o'clock close of business on Friday. University is a life-giving experience. It is the time when you should have an itchy brain. If you're not being challenged, if you're not slightly confused, then you're not going to university with the right attitude. So embrace the fact that you will be dealing with things that you haven't even thought about before. Embrace the fact that your brain will be itchy. And I promise you, you will have a great time at Monash and hopefully a great time with us in the Centre for Theatre and Performance. If you have any questions from this video, please feel free to email me at jane.griffiths@monash.edu and I will meet you in the first year. Bye-bye.